Hello everyone. If I'm audible, please write in the chat box. Good evening everyone. If I'm audible, please write in the chat box that I'm audible so that we begin the session. I hope I am audible. Hello everyone. Okay. Please respond as soon as possible so that we begin the session. Okay. And also tell me, my screen is visible or not? Okay. Only 8 people are live. Okay. As it is difficult. Okay. Let's wait for few more seconds. Then afterwards we will begin the session. Okay, so we are beginning the session now. So today is day 5 of Python Bootcamp. Today we are going to discuss these topics. First of all, we will discuss about the introduction of object-oriented programming. Then afterwards, we will discuss the pillars of the object-oriented programming, that is polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, and abstraction. These four are the pillars of object-oriented programming. Afterwards, we will discuss about the web scraping up, and there is a module called Beautiful Soup. Sorry, Beautiful Soup. We will discuss at the end of this session. Okay, I hope it's clear what we are going to cover this session. Please write in the chat box if the topics were clear, which are the topics we are going to discuss in the today's session. Okay, so if we talk about object-oriented programming, it's basically a programming in which you are just creating objects from there, from the classes. Like we have different classes and different classes or a same class will having a different objects. So main idea is here that we are creating different objects and make it them encapsulating, like it also written here that encapsulate data and methods used to manipulate the data, manipulate the data. So in OOPS concept, or basically in object oriented concept, it is emphasize on the classes and objects. Afterwards, we will learn what are they like pillars on which this concept is based. Now, also we need to know Python supports object-oriented programming. And if you talk about in Python, everything is an object. If you have studied in detail, then you should know about whatever you have learned, the variables, even there are variables. They are also objects. They are also objects from the classes. Okay. And also we can create our own custom objects as well with their classes. Now you might asking what is class now? So class is basically a blueprint and object is you can say identity. So I will clear this with one example. Like for example, I want to make a house, make or basically I want to build a house. So what will I do? First of all, I will create a blueprint. First of all, I will create a blueprint that where is my kitchen, where is the dining room, where is the bedroom, where is the bathroom, and where is the balcony. These are the things I will first of all create. Then afterwards, I will do the construction part. I hope all you agree. No one will do the construction first. Afterwards, he or she will discuss about the blueprint because it will lead to the cost and money. So we will first create a blueprint. Afterwards, we construct our house. So here the blueprint is basically a class and here is a house as you can say object. Okay. Now similarly, if you want to create a bike or any vehicle, Then again you need to create a blueprint how the length of the car or bike will be, how which color do we paint on vehicle or bike. So these are the things you are discussing or basically making a chart, which are the things you are going to include. Then it is known to be a class. It is known to be a class. And after the product that you receive, it is your object. Okay. Now let's read again. Like class is a blueprint for creating objects. Okay, that means whenever we want to create an object, first of all we need to have a blueprint. And in class we are going to define properties and methods, which are the, you can say, property or methods will have the objects. Afterwards, like whatever the property of an object having, it is known to its attributes. So remember this part, like in the car section, its length known to be its property. Okay, that means the property is attribute here. So car having a attribute of length, similarly color, etc. Now and similarly function that are going to be operate on that attributes or basically length. So how it works, like whenever I am saying length, I can change the length of that car. Yes, I will. Like I want the long car, then I will use the length bigger. If I want to create a short compact car, then I will reduce the length. Okay, now afterwards we will discuss first pillar. Okay, first pillar was polymorphism. So I will give one example for that. You will correlate it. Like I'm taking your example. You are son. You can be son of your mother and father, and you can be brother, or even you can sister. The same way you can be daughter. Okay, and you will be a student as well. So here you can see you you are a single entity, but you are performing different job roles. Here you are performing the role of son, here you are performing the role of brother, and here you are performing the role of student. Okay, and in the future you also become mother or father. Then you are playing different roles. So polymorphism also says a same same class behaves differently in different situations, then it is known to be polymorphism. So I hope it's clear that polymorphism basically means a same class behaves like differently in a different situation or circumstances, then it is known to be polymorphism. Please quickly write in the chat box that polymorphism is clear what we have said. Like polymorphism is basically whenever a class having different roles or we can say different scenarios, it behaves differently, then it is known to be polymorphism. Please guys quickly write in the chat box, is it clear or not? Okay, afterwards we are going to discuss the second pillar. The second pillar is encapsulation. So in encapsulation, we are just hiding the internal details of an object from the outside world and only exposing public interface for interacting with the objects. So what is encapsulation? Simply, we are hiding the, like, for example, we have a ATM machine, okay, and you know how to withdraw your money from it. Like, you just need to insert the ATM card. Afterwards, you need to write a PIN, and afterwards, you need to write like a withdrawal amount, whatever you want to withdraw. So, but you didn't know how it's working, how actually it's working. You just know it's working and it's giving you result. So, this how is basically is hidden from us. And why is it hidden from us? Because if it expose if it expose to the outside world, the non-programmer will not going to understand. The non-programmer will not going to understand what is written here and how should I operate the ATM machine. And some of the programmer will steal the data or basically misuses those code or basically those data which is coded in it. So here encapsulation is this. Now it is also written here, it is an important aspect of object oriented programming that helps to manage complexity, reduce coupling between components, and improve code maintainability. Basically, again, first thing is that it is used to hide the data. The second important thing is that it uses to encapsulating the different codes. Like, we are encapsulating the same related code in a single file. Then it is also known to be encapsulation here. And in Python, how we can encapsulation achieved? We have different modifiers for that. Like, we have the private key, public key. These are the modifiers we can use it here. And I guess I missed one part. Yes, I missed this part. Okay, let's discuss it also. Like, we have a class, we have created a class, and class name is dog. Okay, and afterwards we are defining a function name in it, or basically it's a function for initialization. Now, here I'm saying self, then name, then breed. Now, self name and afterwards name, then self breed is equals to breed. Okay. Now, here I am saying def, bark, and self. Okay. Now, this is the part which is written. Now, afterwards, if we want, if we want to execute it, but let's do this also. Then we are going to add some more details in it. Now afterwards, this is the class. Now this is the only the class. Now we have to create the object as well. Okay, for that we we are going to say that my dog, okay, let's say my dog equals to, and we have dog Pluto and let's say, or basically we need to give the breed. Okay, for breed we are giving this Labrador. Now afterwards we will say my. Okay, now here we have called the bark function. So it will print this woof. Now let's run this part. Okay, for that, first of all, okay. uh, I think we are doing some mistake here. Okay, we will check it at the end of the session. First of all, continue after the topics. Now, afterwards, what is the benefits of you? What is the benefit of encapsulation in Python? That it improves the security, because everyone is not going to authorize or basically using that data, like improve security by hiding the data methods, and encapsulation can help protect sensitive data and prevent unauthorized access to it. Now afterwards, the second point is that simplified code maintenance, just by exposing only public interface, so that only the insensitive data is going to be exposed, and all the. Now afterwards, like we have encapsulation, which makes it easy to change the internal implementation of the class without affecting other parts of the code. And second, that at last, it improves the code organization. Encapsulation can help organize the into logical units, making it easier to understand and modify. So we just divide the code in the multiple sections, and some section is private, some is public, and some is uh, hybrid, like some part is exposed and some part is not exposed to the public interfaces. Now afterwards we have inheritance. Inheritance basically means like we have the properties, or we have like class A having some functions. It can be used by the class B. Then it is known to be inheritance, like it having these functions. So these all function can also access by this, because it is inherited from A. It is inherited from A. That's why B can access all the functions or methods from the class A. And similarly, like inheritance, it can be different type. Like we can have single single level. This is single level inheritance, you can say. We can have a multi level, in which like we have class A, class B, and afterwards we have class C. Okay, these are, you can say, multi level inheritance. We can have hybrid also, and even many more. Now, inheritance is a fundamental concept in object oriented programming that allows a class to inherit properties and behavior from another classes. In Python, inheritance is achieved by creating a new class that is modified version of existing class, known to be superclasses, or we can say parent class. So here class A is basically a parent class, and this is a child class. Now, afterwards, let's discuss about the benefits of inheritance. Like we can use the code reuse just by inheriting from existing class. Like I want to use A and B, these functions or basically these methods which is already defined in another class, so I just simply inherit from that class and I can use it. So code reuse usability increases, and it is also making us super easy so that we can manage, that we can manage, or basically we reduce the size of the code. Now, polymorphism also, like polymorphism by overriding methods in subclass. You can create objects with the same interface but different behaviors. So polymorphism also achieved by inheritance. So remember this part. Inheritance is also a key role in polymorphism as well, because whenever we want to achieve polymorphism, so we need to override the methods in this subclass. How we can do? By inheritance. Like I have brought these three functions, okay, and here I will override, let's say b, then the new class will having different property, and this is also the same like class A. Now this is the class B, so class B will behave differently in this scenario, and it is also allows us you to write more flexible and extensible codes. And again, it makes the code simplify, or it is just simplified maintenance by using inheritance to organize code into logical units. It becomes easier to maintain and modify the code as it's evolved over time. Now, afterwards, abstraction. Again, abstraction and encapsulation are quite similar. Like abstraction is also means like we are hiding the data from the user, or basically we are hiding the complex implementation details from the user and just providing the simplified interface so that it can interact with the code. Okay, here we are providing also the interface. Okay, now afterwards, like in Python, abstraction can be achieved using abstract classes and interfaces. So how we can achieve abstraction? Just by using abstract classes and interfaces. Now let's discuss what are the benefits of abstraction. First of all, it improves the code organization because we are abstracting some classes from the users so that they can't get the details of that complex implementations. By using abstract classes and interfaces, you can organize your code into logical units and provide a common interface for a set of related classes. Now, the second point is that improved code maintainability. So, what is that? Simply, we hiding the implementation details from the user, and just we are just giving the details which is easier to understand, and you can say we connect with that. And afterwards, it increases the code flexibility just by defining a common interface for a set of classes. Abstraction can make your code more flexible and extensible, allowing you to add new classes that implement the same interface without having to modify existing classes. Now we are going to discuss about the last topic of today, that is web scraping. So what is web scraping? So web scraping basically a process in which you are extracting the data from the website so you can automate your program. Okay, but I said it is just just a process of extracting the data from the website so that you can use that data in your program. Now, web scraping is often performed using libraries such as Beautiful Soup that we are going to discuss also, and some or now which provide tools for navigating HTML, XML documents and extracting data from them. So why we need to use them? We are using these libraries so that we can navigate. That means we can use that HTML files and manipulate it us for us. Now I hope you know what is HTML and XML. These are the languages that used for structuring the website. Okay, these are used to structuring the websites. Now, let's discuss Beautiful Soup. Beautiful Soup is a Python library that we have discussed earlier, and it is used for web scraping purposes to pull the data out of HTML XML files, and it creates a parse tree from these. Now, you will learn about the parse tree in compiler design. Okay, parse tree you are going to learn in your third year of DTech, and you are going to learn in the compiler design what is parse tree. Now afterwards, it is used to extract data. Okay, simply it uses the data to extract, and afterwards it make it a more readable manual. And now we are going to see what are the different steps. These are the steps to pull the data from the websites. So first of all, you need to request some HTTP requests. Afterwards, you need to pass the HTML, and afterwards you need to use. Then afterwards, you can process and store the data in desired form, like CSV or in your database as well. Now, quickly see how we can achieve it. First of all, we need to request. First of all, we need to import request. Afterwards, we need to provide a URL here. URL equals to HTTPS. Let's say we use Wikipedia Python. We are going to use this link. Okay. Afterwards, let's write a response equals to request dot get URL. Okay, let's run this part. Okay, for this we will use this. This file doesn't belong to the project. Okay, here we are going to import request. Afterwards, URL, then response equals to request dot get URL. Okay, let's run this part. Thank you. And at last, you should know that web scraping is basically illegal. Okay. First of all, you should raise legal and ethical concerns. Like, whenever we are doing web scraping, then we can get any legal or ethical concerns if done without permissions. It is going to violate the website's terms and condition or basically services. So some websites have measures in place to prevent scrapping, such as rate limiting or blocking IP address. So it's important to be respectful of websites owners' wishes and to follow best practice of web scraping. So you should remember this part, like you can get the legal or ethical concerns from the website's owner. I think why it's not working. We did correct input. First of all, we have imported the request. Afterwards, we have get the data. Okay. Afterwards, let's try to print it. Print response. Afterwards, let's say what will be the answer here. Okay, I think they have blocked it, their data. Okay, for that, that's why we are not able to get the data. For that, let's write some web scraping websites. Mm, let's we have this site. We get the response to 100. That means we successfully get it. Now afterwards, we are going to print response response dot content. Again, we are getting response 200. Okay, I will add these snippets of the code in these slides as well so that you can go through it after the class. Like, I think we are missing something. That's why it's not working correctly. At last, I'm sharing the link as well. Those who are in the class, please quickly mark it their attendance.